Alright. So, welcome back to Big Money number 3. Hopefully, we will be landing on the moon. Well, the moon this time. And hopefully, I have fixed my sound issue. So, this way, you can actually understand what I'm saying as I'm playing this game. So, we'll kick off where we left off on part 2. I might get around to redoing part 1 just so you guys can know what I did to start off with the tech tree and all that. So 39 science, clearly don't have enough to push this any farther, but we still unlocked fuel tanks and engine last time, so we still have this active contract right now. So, that being said, all we have to do is land on it. We don't even need to plant a flag or do any science, but we can take full advantage of that since I upgraded the astronaut complex. So what was it? No, it was the Sci R&D. R&D allows you to collect surface sample, but without the astronauts complex upgrade, you won't get to even do EVAs. So yeah, it's all steps, step by steps, and I don't even have the parts to do a spaceplane yet. So the spaceplane hangar and the runway are pretty much irrelevant at this point, unless I'd be running another mod to spice up the tech tree, let's say. Alright, so let's see what we got for parts. Still got the same shitty capsule. So we were at Big Money 4. So we will build Big Money 5. Okay, now do we have, yes, we have landing struts. Alright, this is gonna be sketchy because I hate going to the moon. Usually I do all my science and the rest of my testing on Minmus, so much easier. Okay, yeah, that's what I feared. I don't have the structural part for the actual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch these small fuel tanks. Well, this is where it gets me. I need to create a landing stage at the tip of a rocket, so this is new for me. Usually I do it later on, so learning curve. And I'm not using any mech jab or anything, so I'm just winging it. I don't just want to build anything, I kind of want it to look cool. So here, I'll start off by creating a capsule that's actually going to be coming back. So do I have any batteries? No. No batteries. That's gonna make the trip a whole lot more dangerous. So yeah. Okay. Well, now that I think about it, all I really need to do is get there and have a stage ready that's able to take me off of it and just about enough fuel to get back. So I don't have no command and no RCS. Okay. How tall would this be? A bit tall. So I got the fuel lines. I might take advantage of these things. I think that's what I'm going to do. Since money is not an issue, I guess I can build pretty much anything I want. Tonnage and parts. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's see, if I take one of these and I were to no, not what I wanted to do. Let's just go for 2. Then let's put them sideways. Okay. Now, if I take these, no. Could this work? At this point, if I'm doing stupid things like this, I might as well just take a big fuel tank. Because right now I had 600. Okay, I had shit right there. If I take one of these. Yeah, one big one of these. Boom. But now the engine's gonna be inefficient. But I got this little poodle thing. So. Big money. Fuck it. Whoa. Okay, we have an issue. Alright, fuck this. Yeah, I'm coming back to this thing. Okay. Just turn these. I put these like so. Then I put where was it? Yeah. Drop 4 of these. Okay, now I'm getting this thing. If I press R, it's gonna give me the symmetrical. But now the only issue with it is I need to line it up perfectly for all 4 to work properly. But another bonus I'm getting out of this is an extra wide base for these legs, and I could add a bit more even if I wanted to. A few extra ones just to be sure. One thing I remembered that is treacherous of Minmus is not Minmus, of the moon, is the ground. The ground, there's basically no flat spots to land on. So I'm gonna want to probably put these on an action group. So okay, this will be my fuel stage. To get That's just gonna be flopping around. That's gonna be my landing stage and my return home stage, let's say. If I pop a little one of these, I'm still too low. So let's grab the tank and just drop it. Suspension might damage the engine, so let's see how low we can get. Here we go. Seems pretty decent. So I'm guessing in my utilities I don't have no ladders yet. So yeah, I'm gonna take one of these. And one of these. Just little free science. Okay, and since I want to respect the fuel flow, I'm gonna have to do this. But now I want two of these, one on each tank. Boom. So theoretically, the outside tank should empty before the last tank, the little tiny one. And hell, if I want to be smart, I could stage these tanks to ditch them once they're empty. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna put it there, grab this, and drop it about there. I'm gonna set this part to it. I get it straight on. Boom. The fuel lines are still straight. Okay. Not sure how powerful this is going to be in the vacuum, but we will find out. Well, Jeb will find out anyways. Or not, we might be hiring a expendable pilot for this one. Why can't I get? There we go. Boom. I'll close these up. That when I launch, they're not open. So yeah. Nope. Something's open. Okay, so yeah, let's close, let's start doing the next stage. Now I'm realizing I don't have the big parts for the big fuel tanks. Wow. What should I do? Let's just go all out. Okay. Let's see if I can get away with this. as like I can. Still not spending that much money to send these. Okay. So now got the skipper. So that will be our main from the start. And I'll be adding a bunch of these. The kickback. But still, my couplings are lacking. There we go. I'm just gonna put as many of those as I can, which I think the max is 8. Oh, what did I surpass? I surpassed the mass. Okay. Okay. Really? Okay. I'm just gonna save this like that. Go outside. See how much I need to spend to upgrade my launch pad. Ah, we're doing it. Boom. So mass shouldn't be an issue. There you go. We're in the clear. Alright. Now let's do some action groups. Okay, so gears are already staged. So yeah, we don't have any advanced action groups yet. So. And I don't have lights or anything. So I will have to try to land on a day side, if at all possible. Okay, let's launch this puppy. Sending Jeb up there. Alright, let's find our target. Okay. Got the anti-target vector, but we want the target vector. So we'll time accelerate till it shows up. Want to be careful not to go too fast, but still fast enough so it doesn't take forever. Alright, so there's a target vector. We'll keep it about there so we can get at least a little bit of a gravity turn. So I'm gonna put on the stability controls and set my throttle 3/4. I know that these kickbacks are just going to floor it, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. The ship might flip, those couplings might not hold, and it might rip apart, so here goes nothing. For science. I'm not getting that much speed. Got a lot of fuel on that last stage. So I'm just gonna floor it now. Try and get as much delta V as I can, so I can get high enough for that last stage to push everything on its own and still get delta V, not waste fuel burning just to try and get higher. I'm going to have to ditch those engines. So. Alright, we had a clean separation. They're going to hit each other, but they're all surviving. That's awesome. No explosions. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna start turning towards my prograde vector. I want to give this guy as much chance as possible to get there without wasting all of his fuel and his delta V. But it seems like it is slowing down and we are going to be getting more speed soon. But yeah, we are still wasting fuel. If I'd remove one of those tanks off the last stage, we'd be flying faster, but trial and error. There's our debris still falling, us getting farther and farther away from Kerbin. The sun. The light hitting the mountains and stuff. Disappointed not getting as much speed as I would have wanted. Alright, I'm gonna lock into the prograde. Once it gets me on the target vector, I'm just gonna lock it back into its stability assist. Very disappointed in the lack of speed. Well, that skipper ain't no mainsail, so yeah. Stability assist back on. I've taken control manually to align with the target marker. Oh, there goes that stage, so let's decouple and fire up the next stage. Whoa. Okay, yeah, we have 5 engines on that one, so all 5 engines are up. big stage is already far away. But again, I'm gonna switch to the orbit map view so I can see the trajectory that we're gonna be going for. I can make the adjustments to actually get an encounter. This is the fastest way that I know to get an encounter in orbit. Since money is not an issue, I'm taking full advantage of it. But as always, fuel and everything else is an issue. So I'm gonna be able to start to throttle down soon. Because once you get at about 2,300, it just starts flying off. So I'm gonna kill the engines here. We're not exactly lined up with it, and we're not dead on with it, so I'm gonna pop a maneuver. And you have all the time in the world once you get at this point. You're in space, you're not falling, you're not anything, unless you time accelerate by accident and send yourself crashing back into Kerbin. Well, you basically have all the time in the world. So just take your time, do your maneuvers, and this way you get safe fuel also. Because now I'm moving my encounter tag closest to the other one. And there you go, got my encounter. So I can pull this back a bit to really be stingy on the fuel cost. And now all I have to do is line up the nose of the ship with the blue marker, which is my target marker for my maneuver. So you're basically flying this thing all by instruments. And it can get confusing at times, especially when you're doing encounters and all that. You want to rendezvous ships. Everything's going fine for 1 second, and then you're heading off in the other direction, and you don't know why, and you're all like shit. But we'll probably get to that eventually. I know we'll need to encounter vessels if we want to visit other planets. We'll have to build vessels in space and have stations, which I will be doing around Minmus. We'll be building my ships and having my space stations, well, fueling stations around Minmus to do all my other missions. So, yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna do my burn from this menu. I really don't have to wait till I'm there, so I can just do it now. So that's what I'm going to do. without the fly-by-wire, kinda have to do all your maneuvers manually. And now the maneuver node is just going crazy. So there you go, we have our encounter. And the fuel tank for the middle stage still looks pretty decent. The only thing I'm worried about now is I didn't put no radiators, which I probably should have. This is starting to be a big craft. But now, since my electrical charge ain't gonna be able to recharge, I'm going to turn off the stability control till I get into my encounter. So let's hope Jeb doesn't hit the throttle or the stick or whatever, because he's just gonna start spinning indefinitely till we turn on the stability control. So yeah, if ever you're doing a long time acceleration and you don't have no solar panels or nothing, you really want to turn off your SAS, or else you'll kill your battery and lose control of your craft. And at this point it would be disastrous because we couldn't change Jeb's trajectory once he's finished with his encounter, and at the pitch he's got, he just smash into the planet, the parachutes, and the rest wouldn't even be enough to stop him. So yeah, let's warp to our encounter. Okay. Since I don't want to do a boo-boo and click on the actual purple one and have it kick off and try to go all the way around, but I'm trying to be extra careful because it does happen from time to time. Get these little errors and it messes up your whole mission. Since I'm not a big fan of reverting and all that. Okay, that's at 157. I want to get it way lower. Way lower. 69. 54. Lower than that. 16. Okay. 16 too low for the mountains and stuff. No, it should be good. Okay. So now, since that I'm here, I'm going to warp to my next maneuver. This one's gonna be a big burn. Slow me down and everything. So now I am going to turn on the stability control and get into a retrograde vector. I'm gonna use Jeb's abilities for this one. If you don't have a pilot, you don't have any stability control, RCS or nothing, unless you have a probe that can basically fly the ship for the Kerbal. So let's start doing our burn. I'm just going to floor it. Keep an eye on here. I got general idea of what it's going to do with the burn, so more fuel than I thought. myself down and then potentially land and not kill myself. I don't just want to do like a suicide burn where you actually stop yourself completely, fall vertically, and then burn at the last second to slow yourself down and land. Oh, poop. I don't know why I was looking at the numbers. I closed my throttle, but it just kept going. The joys of flying Hodas and fucking KSB. You get that weird delay. Not all the times, but sometimes. Always at the worst time. Just gonna lift my orbit up. Cause I am a little bit afraid of hitting a mountaintop. Okay. Just going into stability control, cause using my... Why am I using up so much electricity? What is going on? It's that weeble wobble that's draining my batteries, so I'm going to turn off stability control and we're gonna be spinning. So yeah, these engines don't charge your batteries when they burn. Some engines do, but these apparently don't. So yeah, I must be really crazy doing this without any batteries or solar panels. Alright. So, yeah, not the best spot to land at, but at least it's daylight. Can't see the ground and my shadow. Okay, we're gonna do it visually. Visually and manually. This is going to suck. Alright, let's time accelerate a bit till we get low enough. To actually pick out a landing spot. Okay, so about here, once I reach 9,997, well, once this little orange light turns off, since I don't want to smack into the moon as I'm slowing down, I'm gonna wait till I start going back up before I start burning. So that's once I'm past the lowest point of the orbit. Gonna turn on my stability control, gonna point for that retrograde vector, and once that's done, I am going to start my burn. Okay, retrograde, new lock, so it doesn't go all crazy. Gonna let it stabilize itself out. And I might kill the batteries doing the drop. Okay, I'm on a surface vector. Right. Oh, wrong way. Okay, I'm gonna let Jeb take over. And I'm going to start my burn. No. And that means we lost the orbit, the camera shifting like that. Let's hope to God that we don't end up in that terrain and we can still clear down here. Please, 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 please. I'm gonna have to ditch this stage. And gotta check my staging. I don't want to ditch those fuel tanks. Right. Seems efficient enough. Right on, this is awesome. That last stage is zooming off and gonna crash somewhere. Alright, so now all we have to do is maintain our speed till we reach the surface. I'm going to, oh, that's the lights. Deploy my gears. And hopefully get to land Jeb on the moon and return home with him somewhat safely. I turned on my stability because I'm worried about the batteries. So now the gravity is somewhat strong here, which it's going to be pulling me, well, pulling hard on me. So if I get too fast, I won't be able to slow down in time on this single engine. So we see our shadow down here. So since there's no like sea level, this thing won't be accurate. I could do it with the radar from inside, but now I need my stability control. The radar from inside, but I couldn't see the terrain that I'm landing on. With this wide, the ship is low, and with the wide base, it should be somewhat okay, but I'm still worried about the pitch of the hill, having it slide and all that. It seems like we're landing on a pretty steep hill. Oh yeah, we're like basically on a cliffside. And this will happen sometimes also when you're trying to land on Kerbin with your parachutes. You land on mountainsides and then your ship tumbles down the cliff and eventually explodes. Well, basically all we have to do is land and hold stability for 10 seconds. Throttling up. to slow down as much as possible. And killing the engines. So there we have it. But we're not stable, so the contract. Contract. What? Seriously? Okay. Whatever. So I'll just take this and that. Take a crew report. Well, hey, wait. Forget every time. Review data. Temperature scan from the moon's island. Collected and recorded temperature data from the environment. So nothing quirky or funny here. On this one, atmospheric pressure scan of the moon's island. They say Insanity is doing the same thing multiple times and expecting a different result. You check the atmospheric pressure again always. Okay, I guess they just called me insane. Right on. Crew report. Moon's Island, you record your crew's assessment of the situation. Okay. Kind of worried to do a EVA and have the ship like slide off like crazy on me. And I appear to be draining my batteries. I hadn't noticed that. So yeah, time to go home. Might need to send somebody to rescue Jeb. Because I'm not sure what is going to happen once we run out of batteries. I'm trying to fly this without any stability assist. Hopefully if I can get it fast enough. I won't have to worry about it for a little while. When we push the limits, this is about where I'd start playing the song Danger Zone. Top Gun. Even though I'm not getting locked on or anything. Okay, frick it. I'm just launching myself and hoping for the best. Okay, here we go. Killing the engines. Oh boy. Alright. Well, Jeb, hope you got your puke bag, cause you're gonna be tumbling for a while. Okay. Battery's still draining. I don't get what's going on, probably because he's overly hot or something. And no more batteries. No more electrical charge. Full crew control, so I've got no more stability. But luckily, there is kind of a cheat, let's say, which is every time you time accelerate, it slows, well, it changes, locks you into your vector. But now, can I fire off my engine? Yes, I can. And I can use my engines to steer myself. Now that is a problem because now I'm heading towards the prograde vector. So I'm gonna wait till I tumble towards the retrograde and then just floor it, and hopefully be able to keep it stable enough to swing low enough to curbing to get my start aero braking, so I don't, aerodynamics will take over from there. I won't have to do anything more. Okay, so we lost all our fancy toys. Navigational toys. Well, they're not even fancy at this point. Would love to do an EVA on a surface sample. Our batteries issue kind of making it difficult. Trying to keep my center marker lined up with a retrograde marker on the nav ball. Getting another encounter with the moon, which I don't want. All I want to do is go back to Kerbal. Another encounter with it. Crap. Okay. Just gonna wait till I pass the moon's encounter, and I'm gonna resume my burn afterwards. In the meantime, I can check out the fuel tanks. I might be able to ditch the big ones. Not just yet. Soon though. Soon. Very soon. Okily dokily. And we're just saying what's up to the moon once again. And we get to resume our burn. Ooh, I want to see my map. And I need to pull this up, or else I won't get any control on the ship while I'm in the map view. Damn you, ship. And we're nearly at where we want to be. We want to go below 70,000. I just want to keep an eye on that. Below 70,000 meters. Well, below 59 even. Or 49. Oh, I'm way low, but I still got some fuel left in this. I don't want to risk it, so I'm gonna try to turn this around. Big piece of shit. Okay, I'm gonna ditch these side fuel tanks. They're gonna crash into Kerbin anyways. So there you go. I'm gonna be a little bit more easier to turn and stuff. Okay, 57. Flying this without stability assist really sucks. Okay, I'm right where I want to be, so now all I need to do is time accelerate and enjoy the show till I get there. And the sad parts are that my debris is going to get there before I get there. My Jeb's only been in space for 2 days so far. So 2 days land on the moon and back. Ain't too bad. And this is where it's going to take forever, up to 3 days soon. Since Kerbins have 5-hour days or 6-hour days. It's like a quarter of our system in scale, I think. I'm not sure. You're ready. Kerbin's coming closer into view. Contract's done, so there you go. Alright, starting to get low now. Oh, let's ditch that last stage. And now aerodynamics should do everything, and our heat shield should take care of us. At this speed, I'm pretty sure the fuel tank might blow up, but the engine pretty much acts as a heat shield on it. So yeah, lots of wibble wobble. I just hope it doesn't burn up our parachutes. Something wants to burn. Something really wants to burn on there. far so good. Oh, we're gaining altitude now. But we're losing speed. Losing a bunch of speed. But we're slipping out of the atmosphere now. Might not lose enough speed, might be going for another pass. This is going down like crazy. Since we are aero braking and it is swinging around. So it is moving. But yeah, we're out of the atmosphere. We're going for another turn. But we bled off a lot of speed. So let's just time accelerate. Go for another orbit. Once we're back in the atmosphere, well, we'll slow down some more. Could have used that last stage to burn and slow down, but was a little bit afraid that I'd blow up. I kind of messed up and time accelerated a bit too far. So now I just separated my drogues from my main, since I'm gonna be deploying my drogues before my main. Okay. So the wind is catching us now, somewhat. That's why we're pointing in the retrograde. Here we go. Coming in a lot slower now. Hopefully our heat shield survives. But even then, I'll have to ditch it. There's the mid. Jed's all happy and shit. That thing faces it. Absolutely nothing. It's cold as ice. We started climbing again. Can hear it from the sound that the air pressure is diminishing. bit fast to drop from orbit. But I think we might actually get it this time. Don't think we're going for another pass. No, we are not. Or maybe we are. Oh yeah, we're going for another pass. Shit. The ablator's taking a beating. Too bad we can't see it because it's so dark. But the sun's coming around, so still looks pretty decent. Even though it's more than 3/4 gone. Okay. There's our final orbit pass. Alrighty, and that's us starting to go down. That orange light turning on. I didn't lose my experiments, and nothing burned up, and I managed to return him on a dead battery. So I would definitely call this a win. But I ain't done yet, so let's see what happens now. Can't turn this thing around, can't do anything, so I'm completely at the mercy of the physics. Yeah, this might be violent. And there is absolutely nothing I can do about it except watch. And here we go. we just lost our orbit. The camera going all ape shit like that. So yeah, lots of weeble wobble for Jeb, but he's still happy. He doesn't care. That heat shield's holding up longer than I thought. There we go. We've made it. We've made it through the atmosphere, back from the moon. Now, all we have to do is land. So there goes our drone. Jeb got a couple G's on there. His pass out bar actually went up. Well, just for a second. But his bar is nothing compared to the tourists. They're so easy to have pass out. Jeb can actually take a good beating with the flights. Okay, so I'm going to time accelerate till the drogues deploy. Once they deploy, I'm going to jettison the heat shield. Cut back on the weight. There we go. Normal warp. There goes the heat shield. Be able to see it splash. About 18 or 17, I think it's gonna hit. 17, 16. No, not even. Hard to tell. I say it hits at 13. Oh no, 1-4. Boom. Pow, it hit. Okay, so let's time accelerate and get it over with. There's the main chute, and we're at a safe speed to land in water. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this one. Went better than I expected. I don't know why, somehow I was expecting it to just fail, crash, or run out of fuel at some point and have to resend another ship to collect Jeb. Would have sucked, would have taken up time. But it did not. So let's see how much money we made. Yep, 2 million. I'm happy with that. And 175 science. Right on. So let's check out what we can get. The structural part, this part I really want because it's got, yeah, I'm taking this. Poof. I still got more science for more parts. So what could I take advantage of? Main cell, that one. Tempting, tempting. Those are the little poop engines, but I don't need those yet. But they do give me the monoprops engine and all that. And the command brings me up to here, and this is more science. Batteries. Okay, you know what? Let's just push up till we get solar panels. Unfortunately, we can't because they're down here, and we need 90 science. So, but now we got batteries, so might be a little bit less painful to try to do missions. Could get the winglets and the command, and we could actually start building airplanes. But I don't want to get into that right now. So I'm going to wait for the solar panels. So okay, mission control. Explore Kerbin. Rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit. Think I'll pass. So what I'll do is I think I'll force the Minmus missions. I'll force them to load, and I'll take the big money 5, but I'll do 5.1 because I'm going to be tweaking it. Remove one of these. Now I got my structural. I'm gonna do it properly. So we got that. Can add some batteries. There's our batteries. Let's take advantage of this stage. So since it's Big Money Inc., we don't care about the cash. All we do care about is results. Because the only thing that is boosted on here is the science, the money, not the science. So we need to do science. Money is not an issue, science is. I'm confused. What happened? It disappeared. And it reappeared. Okay, so I know what happened. If I press R, I'll bring it back to where... Nope, not even. God damn it. me any other choice, so okay. Whoa! No! I just fucked up big time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. Why do I keep fucking up? All I wish to do was add some batteries. And I'm being stupid about it, so... Take two! Let's just slap 4 around this core. That should be good. That's a lot of batteries. Since we can't recharge, we'll just store a lot of juice. Now hopefully by removing the one fuel tank from this lower stage, I was able to cut down the weight enough for it to actually gain a lot more speed on the takeoff. So now I'm gonna try to start to head to Minmus to force the Minmus missions upon me. Those that I just did for the moon. So same approach as I did for the moon, but now you can see the target marker is offset. But that's not too much of a problem, because I will be correcting the pitch once I'm actually out of the atmosphere. So alright, everything's set. Gonna lock our SAS, our stability, and we're going to launch. And I'm going to be flooring the main rocket. So, there we go. That rocket is taking off beautifully. And it is going a lot faster than the previous launch. The outside boosters, the solid boosters. That was a nice separation. No explosions. That is beautiful. Now I'm going to start turning. So as you can see, compared to the last launch, we were losing Delta V at this point when we ditched the solid boosters. Now since we have less weight to start with, the engine's already more efficient. So sometimes more fuel isn't a good thing. I'm just gonna start aiming towards my target. Hopefully my prograde vector using any electrical charge because my big engine is producing electricity. Alternator output, there you go. No one's got an alternator. So yeah. Going a lot faster this time around, and yet I forgot to add radiators yet again. Oh well, we'll find out if we overcook or not. And that stage is done. Let's ditch it and fire up the other stage. That should be enough to get us all the way there and probably land and everything. I'm guessing, well, not guessing, but those of you that saw the run landing and are going to see the mid-miss landing are gonna notice a considerable difference in fuel costs and how much the gravity pulls you down, because there's basically almost no gravity on mid-miss compared to the mud. Doesn't look like we're doing much progress, but it's like that one big step that you have to clear before you get out of the solar system. Well, solar system, no, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Out of the planetary system, I guess. The moons and shit. There are mods where you can actually leave the solar system. So there's like a golden point where you'd want to put your ships and stuff and stations to refuel if you're going to be doing missions to go farther. Oh, okay. So now, yeah, I went way too far. So I'm just going to retrograde my ass back a bit and then correct. Because this is too much. Way too much. Guess I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so I'll stop it here. Now, put my marker on my maneuver node on this point, and now I'll just move these closer to one another. And that was a little bit much. It's at these speeds it doesn't take much to like kick out of the solar system. Now I haven't even checked. I'm not even lined up with the orbit, so I'll need to kick this up a bit. lot closer now. Okay, that line just shifted because I got to the point where I surpassed it. I'm basically dead on with it. If I move forward, I should eventually meet. Oof, there we go. So now let's get into our target vector. Let's rotate this shit. Boom. Now let's turn it. Okay. Now that I am fully lined up, I'm going to warp to my next maneuver. So I pointed up with it. As I move closer to the maneuver, you notice that the marker moved with my arrow. Well, I moved with it basically. The nav ball just swapped because it's showing me the horizons of Kerbin, and as I'm getting away from it, they become more and more irrelevant. So the colors on the nav ball become more confusing than anything else, so I just ignore them. The only time that they are really relevant is when you're trying to get an orbit, circular orbit, and you want to keep your... Stay in the blue. The blue is the sky, the brown is the ground, so... There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna do my burn, because I'm right at that point. Enough to keep up. Start slowing down. Here we go. Boom. That's our min-miss encounter. So it's gonna take a lot longer to reach min-miss than what it did for the mun. So yeah, on our way to min-miss. And let's go faster. Boom. And yes, I did not turn on my SAS this time, but my electrical charge is still pretty spot on. Oh, I didn't have any of these turned on, so these would have definitely drained the battery to do the corrections and all that. So I'm not even going to put a maneuver now. I'm just going to warp closer to it, then get into a retrograde, let Jeb block the ship into retrograde, and do my retro burn. So I'm gonna start my burn now. Min-miss is quite far away. this is where it's going to take forever because we basically lost all of our speed. So the approach for min-miss is going to be painful, but you can totally see the advantage of having a station and, let's say, a flying shipyard up here. Maneuvers cost practically nothing in fuel. So now I'm just getting my approach orbit as low as I can. So I'm not actually like just dropping out of the sky. So yeah. Time accelerate a little bit farther along. So yeah, while I'm up here, I'm going to do some science. Only unfortunate part is I didn't bring no comms. So I only have space for one crew report. But I'm pretty sure I can get a big kicker of science from here. Now, here's one of the advantages of min-miss. Min-miss has these flat lake beds, if you want, which are like the perfect spots for moon bases and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna try and land right in the middle here. So as soon as I get close enough to the top, I have been draining my batteries ever since. So yeah, I'm going to just do this. Batteries are gonna stop draining. And here, we can see it. That's going to be my landing zone. We still got a bunch of fuel in these last stage compared to what we had for the moon. So if you want to practice at getting good at landing on moons and returning your ships and doing space stations and all that, the best place to practice is min-miss. Now I might try to land on these 5 engines. if I have enough fuel, that is. Alright, as soon as I'm lined up, I will start. Oh, here. Let's start doing our burn right away. So, if we wouldn't have any fuel or anything, we'd crash about there. So, once we fly about over, we'll slow down and start moving our line inwards. So, give me a couple of seconds, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So, we don't have any active contracts to be here. No one asked us to be here. We did it on our own will and our own funds. But what that will do in the career mode is it will push your reputation forward, but also will push other companies. Other companies will see that you have reached min-miss, and so they will start contracting you for missions to min-miss, to either explore, build bases, get space stations, collect ores, depending on the level of technology and how far you've been, how much stuff you have up here. Because right now it's pretty empty. I don't even have signals. So if I'd want to send a probe up here and be able to control it, I need to have a satellite with an antenna powerful enough to relay the signal. Or yeah, so a relay basically. Usually what I like to do is the areas where my probes will be operating, where I drop the probe, I usually have well, let's call it the ship that drops the probe. Once it lands, it becomes a relay tower for the probe to the sat. Since the probe doesn't really have that much real estate for an antenna, I piggyback it off the lander stage, and the lander stage reaches the satellite, which the satellite reaches Kerbin, or the Space Center. And I think I will be planting a flag for this one. And I am going to be leaving that last stage on the surface. Let's call it a memorial to our first landing on Minmus. Well, memorial, statue, monument, whatever. Nobody died. Okay, so you'll see the ship is going to be rolling. Since we dropped so much speed, we're not going to be going as forward as much. But we're not gaining that much speed either, because the gravity pull isn't that big. So here you could basically land a ship on RCS and you could basically return a Kerbal with only his RCS back to Kerbin. All you need to do is look at Kerbin and keep pushing the forward button as you're going towards Kerbin, if we can find it in the sky. But yeah. So yeah, fun fact about these lake beds that makes it a lot easier than the mud is this will actually reach 0 once I reach the flat part of here. So for beginners to land, this helps a lot if you're landing down here to practice. Yeah, all the gears are clear, so I'll just open them up just in case something bad were to happen. To at least catch the ship and stop the engine from getting damaged. The 5 engines, even if they get damaged at this point, I'm leaving him there, so I would really like to keep them intact, so I can leave them there and use them as a marker. Okay, so I got a little bit slow, but I see my shadow. But now we see how flat these parts are. So you want to test out rovers, you want to do any kind of experimentation to practice out stuff, this is the best place to do it. Any of these green lake beds will do, basically. Doesn't cost that much fuel to get here either. You just need to get the speed. So let's say you get bigger ships into orbit, you just put them in parking orbit around the planet. You'd get to dock parts together to build a potentially even bigger ship, and then even refuel them once they're actually built and all together. So you could set off for, let's say, a Mars mission or something like that. Since I'm not using any mods that allows you to move ships directly into space, so we have to do everything from the space center. Okay, let's do this. This is the tricky part, and we did it. We totally did it. Let's turn off the stability control and let's let it find its proper resting point. So yeah. Boom. So now, first things first. Let's check out what these experiments say. Crew report. We record crew's assessment of the situation. So 22 science. There you go. The temperature, log temperature, collect and record temperature, the environment. If we toggle it, we're at 201 Kelvin. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's toasty or cold. Could Google it, but I don't want to. Not right now. In vacuum. Duh. Spheric pressure. Collect and record. Alright. So let's go on to an EVA. So if we take an EVA report, you feel a bit like a superhero when you jump in the low gravity. Alright. So if I release, open up my chute, then I use the RCS pack to get off the ship without flipping it. Right on. Now I'm golden. So if I take a surface sample, the surface seems to consist of tiny crystal-like grains. Very pretty, probably not edible. Okay. Okay. We know it's not edible, so let's plant a flag. Let's call this Big Money Site Alpha. And the plaque, we don't need a plaque. So that's gonna be our first site for our first ever moon base. So here we go. Now that all is done, we don't need to spend any more time here. We didn't have any contracts or anything, so now let's go back home. Okay, we caught onto the ship. We didn't flip it. We're safely back inside. So now I will need to get this right. If I want this stage to stay on the ground, I will need to release this coupler and turn on this engine at the same time. So let's find it on our staging. This is our coupler that we want to release. That's the engine. So if we put them together, once we fire off our stage, it should fire this stage and turn on the engine at the same time. If I oh no, I don't want to pre-throttle because all my other engines are still powered on. They will fire, so I get the option to turn them off. So that's what I will be doing to be able to pre-throttle before I fire the stage. I'm pretty sure that stage is going to give me a kick. So the kick with the pre-throttle should give me a pretty good fighting chance of leaving this here intact. Our flag is pretty close. If there was to be an explosion, I'm pretty sure we'd destroy our flag. But now we got all our science. We did everything we came here to do. So let's pre-throttle and let's get out of here. So I'm just gonna take it up to here. That seems about right. Feels right. Now all of a sudden we're gonna see our fuel bar fill up because we're ditching the empty fuel tanks. So here we go. Oh, did fire. Second try for the win. So here we go. Boom! And we left that stage intact. Right on, we're pulling some Apollo style shit up in here. Well, a little bit too much on the rotation, my bad. So let's start turning. That's the contrary that we're coming in, so let's go the other way. And let's throttle up. Let's put our gears away. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. There they are. So we left our debris and our flag intact there, and now we got our small return stage to go back home. And we won't need that much fuel or burn to return back to Kerbin, because right now our orbit is already getting pretty big. So let's just time warp up here, circularize our orbit, and plan this accordingly. we got all the battery juice now, so we don't have to worry about nothing. Can't recharge it, but we should have enough to do whatever we need to do. So okay, I thought I was gonna get a flat orbit, but clearly not. I got enough fuel, I can totally fix that. Okay, let's just warp here. Kick that side out and then we'll turn the orbit. Correct the orbit once we're at the equator. Okay, here we go. So now we're pretty much close to the equator. So since I'm okay, so it's that one. Boom. So that should fix our orbit. So now I would need to go towards my blue mark and just do a burn. And that will fix my orbit, hopefully. If I run after that diamond, it's going to go a lot faster. Oh, orbit's pretty flat. Flatter than what it was, so that's fine where Kerbin is. Okay, so Kerbin is in there, so I want to basically fire inwards. So yeah, I'm about at that point. So I'm just going to prograde and fire off my engine, and I should be on my way home. So I'm pushing this side outwards. Since I'm spinning that way, I should be going the contrary of the spin. Oh, there's my cat. Once I finish this burn, I'll go see what he wants. There you go. So yeah, our circle is smaller than the orbit of the moon, so we did it properly. Pretty sure we keep burning, it would get smaller. There you go. So yeah. So give me a couple of seconds, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Phone call from some cell phone company, pretty sure they were scammers. But whatever. They're gone now. So let's time accelerate to where we need to be. So let's just do it manually. Because automatic get out of hand, we could go for a full orbit and that would just take forever. We're already at 9 days now. Us escaping the orbit is really taking forever. We're not moving that fast. And here we go. So let's get into it. You see, I totally did it. I left my SAS on and I killed the battery. So I am back to the same boo-boo that I did earlier. All I had to do was turn it off. So we are somewhat moving. Is in the right direction? I'm not sure. Let's try and correct that. Let's go into the orbit map. Now I am back to flying this manually. Can't wait to have my frickin' solar panels. Big Money Inc. is fun. It's fun to have all the money, but it sucks when you don't have the science to spend all that money on. But luckily, we can compensate with skill. Kind of. Not sure how it would go with keyboard to try and do these maneuvers. So yeah, we dropped a good ways. But we still got a good ways to go. And we will need to do a re-entry burn for this one. Or else we are going to burn up in the atmosphere. We will lose our science, our pilot, and pretty much everything else. Okay, I'm just warping in baby steps, so I don't overdo it, because it gets tricky. It's exponential. I could do it manually, but at a certain point you just start going. So I'm not taking any chances. I still don't want it to take forever, so Well, they are small tiny ship is proving out more useful than first anticipated. Would have been perfect if I would have turned off the SAS, but I didn't. And yeah, that's all on me. Okay, so we're back to this. Now, I don't want to start my burn too early, or else it's going to send me too low into the orbit. And I really, really, really don't want to get too low. So I am trying really, really hard to not get tossed. I had to do a burn to turn myself. Okay, we're getting back some control. Quite hard to pilot manually. Our camera swirl thing, say that we lost our orbit. So I am going to be ditching those two fuel tanks. Whoa. And I'm about to lose control of this. Oh yeah. Big time. This is so hard to pilot. Okay. And I'm ditching this stage. And I'm letting aerodynamics do the rest. Here we go. Then stage my shoots. It's gonna be a quick landing, let's say. Kind of. Oh, there goes some of our debris exploding. Probably hit the ground. Yeah, there you go. We get to see that one. Hit. Bam! Almost seems as we're falling at the same speed. But no, it's gonna go crash. Now hopefully we broke some records. We have entered into suborbital flyby of min-miss. We have entered orbit of min-miss. So we got science for doing all those things. I've entered suborbital spaceflight above min-miss. We have landed on min-miss, walked on the surface, planted a flag, and escaped its gravitational influence. So we got science for all of that. So yeah, even if we weren't contracted, we still got a pretty good payout on this one. We broke records and we did some science. And right on, that debris survived, so that's gonna be more big money for us. Then we will see where our science will take us next. What type of mission will it dictate? Or the Space Center wants. So have to see. Mission control. Up there. Saw the splash for a second for the heat shield. So let's move this along. So I'm kind of curious to see how much science we made. So yeah, right on. Gonna have our little splash and gonna recover jet. And hopefully recovering that debris at the same time, but it seems a little bit far. Might have to go see what's going on with this tracking station. 425 science. There you go. So we just opened up a bunch of doors. Get our solar panels. Get the big engine. 100, 160. That would basically kill all our funds. Could get bigger capsules. Yeah, this big storage container is tempting. But we still wouldn't have the heavy gears or the big shields. The cockpits are up here. We could open up in that branch. Afterward for the actual science lab is all the way up. Whoa, where is the science lab? Is it up here? Yeah, it's up here. Okay, so we could actually do that. We got solar panels. Why not? We got 85 science left. Flight control. Now we're going to take full advantage of this lab. Not that I wanted. No active. Still have an explore Kerbin. Rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit. Plant a flag on Minmus. We don't have no docking ports, so I'm gonna ignore that for now. Conduct, bring tourists, conduct, ferry, rescue. No contracts are really tempting. What I want is science. So, yeah. I am going to end this live stream here, and the next episode will feature the building of our first station, science station, if you want, around Kirby. So thanks for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed, drop a like, and leave a comment. So thanks for watching.